Welcome back to the SDR Hire podcast. If you don't know me, my name is Stefan. I run SDR Hire, which is a community for SDRs where we teach people what it means to be an SDR, what it's like working in tech sales, how do you break in, what do companies look for, and how to nail your job interviews. And today I want to discuss a certain topic that has been on my mind since forever, and that is what is the perfect job ad for an SDR or let's say other sales roles. I just hate when I see those copy paste job posts that look all the same, where you can see clearly that it's templated and that it's like filled with fluff. For today, first I'm going to give you an example of what a terrible job post looks like, and then at the end I'll share a recent job ad that I saw, which I think was just perfectly nailed. It was for a sales job, I think in Australia. But regardless, I think it was just perfectly written. Well, not perfectly necessarily, but it was really, really well written. And I think it kind of checked all the marks of what I feel like it's a good job at. But for the time being, let's just go through the worst case scenario first, right? And so first things first, what is a bad template? So it usually goes like this. Here's a little about the company, right? Here's a little about what we expect from you. Here's all of the generic benefits that you will get from working with us. Apply, right? And so if we go top to bottom, it's usually, about the company. It's things like, we are the best in class. We are the top category, best worldwide software. This is the best place to work, stuff like that, right? Then we go to the second level, which is, here's what we expect from you, right? So here's all the things that you will be doing. And then again, it goes into generic things like you will be doing prospecting, you will be doing cold calls, you will be doing cold emails, you will be doing sales calls, you will be reporting, you will be working with hand in hand with your account executive. For example, if it's an SDR job ad, you will be reporting to your sales manager, you will be responsible for keeping your CRM tight, etc. What? Fine, let's just go to the next phase. So then here's what you can expect from us, right? Something you will get. And then they say things that are usually like generic. Let's say if it's a US job, a 401k, cool. A challenging and a fast-paced environment. Okay. Number of days that you will be getting paid days off, right? How many days of and then sometimes you might even get, unlimited PT, stuff like that. And you will get probably a blurb about how it is a thriving company, it's well funded, or it's super profitable, for example. And then one of the things that are really, really, really pissing me off is when I see a company that is stating it's a remote opportunity, and then there's an asterisk that says, oh, by the way, you will be required to come into the office, let's say 2 days out of the week, which is not a remote opportunity. It is a hybrid opportunity. And mind you, I see this a lot of times. Companies often put that they are 100% remote, which doesn't necessarily mean that they are 100% remote worldwide. It often just means that they are 100%, especially if you're looking into US opportunities, it just means that they are US remote. Sometimes it's just state remote or even city remote. So pay attention to those things, especially if you're somebody who's not in the US and you are looking for opportunities in the US. Make sure that you actually read that they are worldwide remote, not necessarily just like 100% remote. And so, yeah, to me, these just scream red flags all over the place, especially those fluffy introductions about the company, how great they are, how best of a software they have, how they're an amazing place to work at. I have a problem with that because that's just simply fluff. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give you any information. It's just promotional. And why is it such a red flag for me is because it's showing me how they might be doing their marketing, their sales, what they might even expect from me to be as fluffy and, all flowers and everything when I'm selling, which I hate, right? We're not here to persuade people. We are here to find problems and hopefully suggest solutions to those problems. At least that's how I see sales and sales development, booking meetings, etc. And then in addition to that, I'm thinking, okay, what about the salary? Oh yeah, so if your sales job posting doesn't have a salary outlined. What are we even talking about? How many interview steps will I have to go through until I find out what's the salary? What if it's not fitting for what I'm expecting? So those are the things that I usually see that are just terrible. And I honestly don't understand why companies do this. So here's how I look at the copy on the job post. The only purpose the job post has is to sell you on the opportunity to work for that specific company. And most of these job ads are doing a terrible job at doing that. And they're not really selling you the opportunity. Why? Because it's promotional, because it's only talking about themselves, what they want, what they expect from you as a candidate potentially, and they don't tell you anything about their current sales process, previous success of their sales team, the environment which you will be joining. You essentially get very generic information, and it's literally the same as any other job post. And this actually reminds me of terrible examples of cold emails. It reminds me of a cold email that says, "Hi, first name. I hope this email finds you well. Here's everything amazing about my company. Here's all the things that that my company does. Here's why you should buy it. Apply here, and we'll see if you are fit for the service that we're selling." Right? So it's the equivalent of the most terrible cold email that you can send out, because this is such a pretentious way to sell, and it never works. So if I see a company selling themselves like this, it immediately triggers my bullshit alarm and makes me wonder if selling for a company like this would actually be a terrible experience. So what should companies do to make their job ads for salespeople, and for anyone else for that matter, better? And how can they stand out? And in my mind, it's super easy. You just want to write your job ad as if it was a sales page or a cold email. Make it more about the person applying. What are they getting? What problems are you addressing? What's the mission you're taking the people on? What are these people getting themselves into? What is the social proof, right? How are your current sellers performing in their roles? What is the average tenure of your salespeople? What do promotions look like? What are the salaries? What are the quotas? What is the average attainment of those quotas in your company? Because these are all the questions candidates will have regardless when they read your job ad. So just like in sales and just like in marketing, why wouldn't you handle objections or answer questions that your customers, in this case candidates, will unavoidably have? Because remember, people don't care about you. They don't care about your company. They only care about themselves. This is true in sales. This is true in marketing. So why wouldn't it be true for your job ad, right? Now, as we're getting to the end of the video, I did promise that I will show you what a great example of a job ad looks like. And this is something I came across on LinkedIn. So let me share my screen real quick and show you what that looks like. And we're going to go through each line separately just so you can understand what I have in mind when I say a good job ad. Now, this one isn't really perfect, but it does show what I would, for example, consider a great opportunity and something I would consider, for example, if I was looking for a sales job myself. Okay, so we see Cameron here sharing a job opportunity as a LinkedIn post. Now, the reason I like this being a LinkedIn post is because it makes you think, how do I grab the attention of my readers, right? How do I grab the attention of my potential customers, in this case, candidates? So I need to hook them properly, right? So it already makes you think more like a copywriter or a salesperson than somebody publishing a job ad, all right? Now, let's take a look at what we have here. So, for example, it's a best territory to service. First off, as a salesperson, like every good salesperson knows that there is a difference between territories. Like we've all faced, most of us have faced the differences between selling to different geographies. Some geographies simply perform better than others. And so this isn't necessarily green flag, but it just shows me that it's already tailored to something I might consider important as a salesperson. So it's already not generic, right? Track record of all reps exceeding target. Again, this is starting to show social proof, right? It's not perfect because I don't know anything specific, but this is still the part of his hook. So We might get more information later, and it already shows even more personalization, or at least relevance to what I'm potentially looking as a candidate for a job like this, right? This one just blows my mind. Start with an inherited pipeline. Obviously, not every company can afford something like this, but this is such a great offer for anyone who's looking to get hired and find a new job, which is like starting with a pipeline that you necessarily don't have to build right up front, but you can just jump into the role and start selling, which is going to help you create results faster, which is going to give you more confidence faster, and it simply going to help you prove your worth to the company that you start working with sooner. A great piece of offer. Fantastic culture and focus on development. All right. Again, this, it doesn't necessarily sound fluffy, but it doesn't prove anything. It's just a hook still, and it's totally fine. But it talks about culture and focus on development. Cool. That's something you can see in other job ads as well. And then finally, 100% remote in the best city in Australia. You already know it's 100% remote in a specific city, right? In Australia. All right. So we already know it's in Australia and it's 100% remote. So basically, I'm not obligated to go to the office, but just pay attention. It's not a worldwide remote or US remote, whatever. It's in Australia. There we go. He speaks to this right off the bat. If there's one thing that can profoundly impact your success, it's territory. You will inherit the best performing territory nationwide for a prop tech company. Okay, now we know it's a prop tech company, and you will inherit a territory that is already performing. And we have this promise of starting with an inherited pipeline. Like it promised, it says inherit a book of business as well as a thriving territory. All right. So he's really, really pushing that value prop, which is honestly a really good thing. As a seller, this is so important to you, right? I explained this already. Work towards an OTE of 140K. That has been consistently achieved by the business development manager who preceded you. Again, this is such a powerful message because you already know how much money you might be able to make. Now, OTE is on target earnings, which doesn't really tell you what is the base and what is the bonus. However, you are getting another layer of social proof from the person who was there before you, which allows you to either find that person on LinkedIn, reach out to them, ask if they had actually hit their quota before and made that money. Or you can, when you apply, you can ask the question about that fact in the interview, but it's still a lot better and it paints a better picture than just saying, you will be obligated to overachieve your quota, right? That's just bullshit. What will you sell? Again, this is so good. You already know who is the ICP, who is the persona, and you will be selling to them. Again, something that is important to every seller applying to a new job. And then Cameron talks here about the piece of the remote work, right? You will have the freedom to work remotely and meet with your current and future clients at site visits or over coffee to sell the way people like to buy. This is cool because, again, it reinforces the fact that you will be fully remote, but you will have to be present in a specific city because it's a prop tech solution and you need to be talking to property developers and property personas that are located in that city, which is kind of a necessity for you to be there. And now, only now, does he talk about the requirements, right? What you are required to bring with you. Do you see how big of a post this is? Just talking about what you get, which is something that companies usually use in their sales, like good companies use in their sales and marketing communication, right? You first want to talk about either the problem you're solving and how you can solve that problem, or the benefits that you are getting for something. Now, and only now, is Cameron mentioning a few things that you will have to bring with you, which is relevant experience, which is completely normal, sales acumen, which is completely normal, eagerness to grow, awesome. So like this to me is such a great job ad. Let's see what else. Sales roles have been tough in recent times, but you can feel at ease working for a tech company that is well funded, selling like hotcakes and thriving. Again, he's pointing towards the value proposition of this job ad. Reach out if it's time for a change. All right. So I think Cameron did a really great job. I think they're almost like an Australian version of what I'm doing with SDR Hire. They're obviously helping companies find and train top sellers, but Cameron really did an amazing job of selling the job to his audience. So kudos to Cameron. I really think he did a great job. So I hope you liked this kind of content. This is the first of many that I'm going to be doing by myself. And until next time, if you're a company and you would like to access remote SDRs that we train and coach who are vetted and experienced in your industry, and you would like to fill your SDR vacancies with remote SDRs who have those characteristics, go to sdrhire.com and book a call. If you're currently an SDR or you're aspiring to become one, I'm running a community for SDRs where people learn about booking meetings, outbound sales through cold outreach, about interviewing, about how to crush their and they learn those things through courses, live sessions where we do mock calls or we rewrite cold emails to make sure that they are better. We rewrite sequences, practice interviewing, and in addition, you get exposed to at least one sales expert per week. At least that's the cadence that I'm currently being able to deliver, where you get outside knowledge and outside expertise from people who are not necessarily a part of the community. So if that's something that you think you would like, go check out the link in the description and join the community. Until next time, happy hunting.